Most hunters assume a factory rifle from a big box store cannot compete with a custom build. Military surplus records and factory engineering data tell a different story. 5 rifles on this list span nearly a century of design, from a war-torn Soviet arsenal to a modern American factory floor. One of them, a design older than most hunters alive today, still outperforms rifles built decades later. Let's get into it. Number 5. The Remington Model 783. This rifle matters because it proved a factory bolt gun could shoot sub-MOA groups without a custom price tag. Remington introduced the 783 in 2013, built specifically to compete in the budget hunting rifle market. The design borrowed engineering lessons from Remington's earlier models, but stripped away costly machining steps. Big box retailers carried it nationwide, putting an accurate bolt gun into the hands of first-time hunters. Here is what most people miss about this gun. The Crossfire trigger system let Remington cut manufacturing costs without sacrificing a crisp, user-adjustable pull. That single-component decision kept the rifle's price low while still delivering match-grade trigger feel, a combination rarely found in this price bracket. The 783 ships in calibers, from 243 Winchester to 300 Winchester Magnum, with barrel lengths of 22 or 24 inches, depending on chambering. Weight runs close to 7¼ pounds, lighter than the Ruger 77's typical 7½ pound build. Capacity holds 4 rounds in a detachable box magazine, fed through a 2-lug bolt action. One weakness stands out. Fit and finish lag behind premium rifles, with a synthetic stock that flexes more under recoil. That trade-off matters less to a hunter watching a budget, and more to a shooter chasing bench-rest consistency. Remington designed the 783 purely as an entry-point rifle for hunters new to bolt-action shooting. Next up, a rifle built not for hunters, but for soldiers, and it sold in numbers that dwarf every gun on this list. Number 4. The Mosin Nagant M91. This rifle matters because it armed more soldiers than almost any bolt-action design in history. Russian imperial forces adopted the Mosin Nagant in 1891, and the Soviet Union modernized it into the M91 pattern in 1930. Factories across the Soviet Union produced the rifle through 2 world wars, and manufacturing continued into the 1960s. Military records place total production above 17 million rifles, making it one of the most manufactured bolt actions ever built. Here is what most people miss about this gun. The rimmed 7.6 2x54R cartridge was chosen for compatibility with existing machine tools from the 1880s, not for ballistic superiority. That single manufacturing decision let Soviet arsenals mass-produce rifles faster than competing nations, a wartime advantage that shaped the entire Eastern Front. The M91 carries a 28.7-inch barrel, longer than every other rifle on this list. Overall length runs close to 48 inches, and loaded weight sits near 8.8 pounds. Capacity holds 5 rounds, fed from an internal box magazine, cycled through a 3-lug bolt action. Compare that to the Remington 783's 22-inch barrel, and the Mosin's extra length becomes obvious even at a glance. One weakness stands out. The trigger pull is notoriously heavy and inconsistent, often exceeding 6 pounds with noticeable creep. That flaw mattered little to conscript riflemen trained for volley fire, but it frustrates a shooter chasing precision groups today. The Soviet military designed the M91 purely as a mass-issue infantry rifle for large-scale conflict. Next up, an American hunting rifle that solved a scope mounting problem the entire industry struggled with for decades. Number 3. the Ruger 77 series. This rifle matters because its integral scope mounts solved a reliability problem that plagued hunters for decades. Bill Ruger introduced the Model 77 in 1968, designing it to compete directly with established bolt-action rifles from Winchester and Remington. Ruger's engineering team drew inspiration from the Mauser Action's controlled round feed system, refining it for American manufacturing methods. The rifle earned a reputation among hunters for combining classic styling with modern machining tolerances. Here is what most people miss about this gun. Ruger integral scope mounts, machined directly into the receiver, eliminated the need for separate drilled and tapped bases that could loosen under recoil. That engineering choice gave hunters a scope mounting system that held zero through repeated hard use, a detail that separated the 77 from competitors relying on aftermarket bases. The Ruger 77 chambers calibers from .223 to .300 Winchester Magnum, with barrel lengths running 22 to 24 inches. Weight averages 7.5 pounds, heavier than the Remington 783's 7.25 pounds. Capacity holds 4 rounds in a hinged floorplate magazine, cycled through a 3-position safety and controlled round feed bolt. Where the Mosin Nagant relies on a 3-lug military action, the Ruger 77 uses a 2-lug commercial design built for hunting precision rather than rapid infantry fire. One weakness stands out. Early production models suffered from inconsistent bedding that affected accuracy until Ruger revised the stock design in later years. That issue mattered most to shooters running factory ammunition without any bedding work, and mattered less to owners willing to glass bed the action themselves. Ruger designed the 77 series purely as a civilian hunting rifle for sportsmen seeking Mauser-style reliability in an American-made platform. Next up, a Belgian-designed rifle known for one of the smoothest bolt throws in its class. Number 2, the Browning Bolt 2. This rifle matters because its 60-degree bolt lift changed how fast a hunter could cycle a follow-up shot. Browning introduced the original bolt in 1985, then refined the design into the Bolt 2 in 1994, with updated safety and trigger systems. Belgian engineers at Browning's design office worked alongside American manufacturing teams to combine European fit and finish with production efficiency. The rifle became a staple among hunters who valued smooth cycling over raw ruggedness. Here is what most people miss about this gun. The reduced 60-degree bolt throw, compared to the traditional 90-degree throw found on rifles like the Ruger 77, let a hunter's hand stay closer to the scope during cycling. That geometry decision shaved critical fractions of a second off follow-up shot timing, a detail that mattered during fast-moving field encounters. The Bolt 2 chambers calibers from .223 Remington to .300 Winchester Magnum, with barrel lengths of 22 to 26 inches, depending on configuration. Weight runs close to 7.3 pounds, lighter than the Ruger 77's 7.5 pounds. Capacity holds 4 rounds in a detachable rotary magazine, cycled through a 2-lug bolt action with a 60-degree throw. That rotary magazine design also differed sharply from the Mosin Nagant's fixed internal box, trading wartime simplicity for hunting convenience. One weakness stands out. The rotary magazine's plastic construction proved less durable than steel box magazines under repeated hard use in the field. That flaw mattered most to guides running rifles daily across multiple seasons, and mattered less to a hunter carrying the rifle a few weeks each year. You have waited long enough. Here it is. Number 1. The Marlin Model 336. This rifle matters because a lever-action design from 1948 still competes directly with bolt guns built decades later. Marlin engineers introduced the 336 in 1948, refining the earlier Model 36 platform into a stronger, more reliable action. The rifle built on lever action principles, dating back to the 1800s. But Marlin's design team solved problems that had limited earlier lever guns for generations. Hunters across North America adopted the 336 for deer and black bear hunting in dense forest terrain, where fast follow-up shots at close range mattered more than long-distance precision. Here is the engineering decision that changed everything. Marlin's solid top receiver with side ejection let hunters mount a scope directly above the bore, something earlier top-ejecting lever guns, like the Winchester Model 94, could never achieve without obstructing the sightline. That single design choice gave the 336 a versatility no competing lever action could match, letting hunters combine rapid lever cycling with modern optics. The 336 chambers primarily 30-30 Winchester, with barrel lengths of 20 to 24 inches. Weight runs close to 7 pounds, heavier than the Browning Bolt 2's 7.3 pounds by only a fraction. Yet the 336 carries a 6-round tubular magazine rather than a bolt-fed box. Compare that magazine capacity to the Ruger 77's 4-round hinged floor plate, and the 336 offers 2 additional rounds before reloading. Where the Mosin Nagant relied on a 3-lug bolt for military volley fire, the 336's lever action cycles faster at close range, trading raw cartridge power for speed. One weakness stands out. The tubular magazine limits the 336 to flat or round nose bullets, preventing use of aerodynamic Spitzer ammunition, common in bolt-action rifles. That limitation matters little inside 200 yards, where the 336 was always intended to perform. Marlin designed the 336 purely as a fast-cycling hunting rifle for dense terrain and close-range game. Its position atop this list reflects a simple engineering truth. A proven mechanical design, refined rather than replaced, can outlast the trends built around it. 5 rifles, 5 different design philosophies, 1 shared lesson. Proven engineering, whether refined through military mass production or decades of factory iteration, often outperforms novelty. Which of these 5 would you trust most in the field? The surplus reliability of the Mosin Nagant or the lever speed of the Marlin 336? Drop your pick in the comments below. Always check state and local regulations before purchasing or transporting any firearm featured in this video. If documentary-style breakdowns of rifle engineering and military history interest you, subscribe for more deep dives into the mechanics behind the guns that shaped history.